Hey everybody, it's Dutch. For those of you who don't know me, I am Dutchess. This is my channel, Dutchess Divinity, and we do lots of stuff here. But today we're going to be doing a 3-2-1 tarot reading. The first thing I want to say is please don't put any timestamps in this video. If timestamps are necessary, I always have them in the pinned comment, and it really bothers me when people can't listen to me talk for the first 2 or even 3 minutes of a video. If you don't have the attention span to hear what I have to say before you get the free reading from me, then this isn't the reading for you. The reason I don't like this is because I will answer a lot of questions in the beginning, and then I'll be flooded with comments with exactly what I answered because people have a very strange entitlement towards instant gratification, and we just got a solar flare when I said that. And it's really starting to bother me because if you just listen to me as a person and my words before taking a free message, 111, I just saw, then you wouldn't have the issue of not knowing what's going on, and I wouldn't have the issue of being bombarded with questions I've already answered. So there's that. Second of all, this is my new merch. All of it is made to order. I will insert a photo here. And yeah, so you can completely customize this. You can make the sweatshirt whatever color you want, the writing whatever color you want. I also have the long sleeve shirt, as you saw in the photo that I just attached, and that can be completely customized as well. I did make the art on the back, and I'm really proud of it. So yeah, if you'd like to support me and you'd like to have some merch, I think it's really funny. I think we deserve some sort of memento and praise for surviving Saint Teresa Terror and all those like her. So if you want that, I will have that linked in the pinned comment below as well. The other thing I want to say is that this will be extended into members. So if you want to sign up to be a member, it is $5.55 a month. And you get an entire playlist of unlisted readings for members only. It is through my website because YouTube was stealing from me about half of what I was making, so I've moved it over to my website. This is your reminder as well that you will get the link to your members reading playlist when your payment goes through. So if you're curious about when your payment is going to go through, please just email me through my website and ask me, hey Dutch, what day does my payment go through? I'll let you know so you can be prepared for when you're going to get that playlist. So anyway, now we will get into this reading. We're doing 3-2-1. The first thing that I noticed when doing this, getting ready to set this up, was as soon as I got my table set up, outside it was like really loud lawnmowers and weed whacking all of a sudden out of nowhere. And if you've been on this channel a while, you know that I have some sensory issues, and the sound of the lawnmower literally makes me want to rip all my skin off and burst into flames. So I just felt like there's some pretty severe interference of people or entities trying to get you into a stressed out or lower frequency. But the message I got for that is that you and these negative entities or people are not even in the same plane of existence right now. Like, you guys are not even in the same dimension, because as quick as they came, they pretty much went because I didn't let it like upset me or get to me. And so I feel like the key to dealing with interference right now is really just to vibrate above it, which I know sounds really cliche and it's easier said than done, but I mean, it's the challenge right now, right? Everything in the world is really chaotic and stressful, and so just try to rise above it to the best of your ability. And there's a difference between vibrating above something and spiritually bypassing, so just make sure that you are knowing the difference and mastering the ability to vibrate above without going into like la la land where you're pretending like this stuff was never happening. Yeah, so let's go ahead and see what 3 cards we have today for our collective. So we have the Queen of Pentacles. Whoa, okay, that's too many. Okay, we have the Empress. And then, no, I don't want 2. I want 1, Spirit. 1, please. Perfect. The Wheel. Alright, so those are our 3 cards. Let's see what our 2 cards are. Seven of Wands. The Fool. Wow. This is really good. And what is our 1 card? Queen of Swords. Okay. Cool. All right. So, Queen of Pentacles. I feel the need to read this word at the bottom. This deck is from Spirit Halloween. I got it a few years ago, if you're wondering. But it's really good. It's got all the astrological connections, and it has different mythological connections as well to each card. So we have Queen of Pentacles, Dryad, the Empress, Kali, Wheel of Fortune, the Inquisitor. Those are, I believe this is Scorpio and Capricorn, if I'm guessing, for the astrological signs. Gemini, Aquarius. And we have the Seven of Wands, Mummy, with the Leo symbolism, the Fool for Aries, and it also says 300 on this card. And then we have the Queen of Swords, which is Virgo and Libra, and this is the Amazon. Okay. Whew. Like Amazonian. All right. So I feel like whoever this message is for, this collective has finally decided to get off of the wheel, because this card in this deck to me is very much about a karmic cycle that just keeps looping, because as you can see, he's trapped on this wheel. It's like a torture chamber, and he can't get off, and these really creepy people just keep putting him through and putting him through and putting him through. I feel like for this collective, you've broken a certain karmic cycle that actually is connected to past lives, or that you've been doing for lifetime after lifetime after lifetime. I feel that for some of you, you could have had a curse or just the watchful eye of the 1%, specifically for some of you, if you've escaped the 1%, if you've escaped organized crime, if you have escaped some sort of gang, something along those lines. But also, even if you are just a wealthy person, or you had connections to wealth and you had to run away from the 1%, because we all know what they do in the dark. We know what they do in the light, and it's horrible. Imagine what they do in the dark. It's of our worst nightmares. So I feel for a lot of you, you escaped from the watchful eye of evil in the form of organized crime. And Elizabeth April talks about how many light workers have been forced into basically a prison sentence of reincarnation here on Earth, because light workers have the most potent energy for these negative entities and people to drain with their ritualistic abuse. And so they keep us incarnating into the same cycle over and over and over again, whether that's human and child trafficking, or being a part of, like I said, the 1%, or other, you know, like the mafia, gangs, different kinds of organized crime, because we are guaranteed food source, and also I just heard reproductive source. So a lot of times what these survivors of this kind of activity and stuff report is that there are these really creepy, weird, like breeding systems in play, where they are literally breeding humans of certain kinds. So there's certain kinds of humans being bred for food. There's certain to literally eat. There's certain kinds of humans that are being bred to be breeders. Like, some of them are literally bred to be breeders. Some of them are bred to be handlers. Like, they're meant to take the place of someone else in the family. Some of them are bred because they're psychics, and as I said, they're either used as psychic spies within this spiritual warfare, or they're literally used to feed off the essence of their psychic ability, because it is the most potent and, I guess I would say, nourishing for those evil entities to feed off of. So yeah, and I just listened to this great interview by Arizona Wilder. Trigger warning, it's a really dark, so if you don't have the mental capacity or ability in your heart space to be listening to something like that right now, please don't. But she goes into very deep detail about how these secret societies became, who's actually behind them. So I will link that below, and I just got a notification when I said that. That will also be in the pinned comment. But basically, it's like you are breaking these cycles that have happened lifetime after lifetime, where you have been in the clutches of something evil pretending to be good, because this guy has literally like a cross on, but we all know that there are many nefarious people and entities with their own agenda that have been hidden in plain sight in different forms of religion that claim to be of Christ consciousness or of Christ, that are actually of the complete opposite. So you've been stuck in this cycle, being brought on this wheel over and over and over again, and you finally released yourself from it. Now, I feel like this was like the last fragments of it. So I feel that you have spent lifetimes and lifetimes incarnating out of being directly in the hands of this organized crime, right? But at this point in your life, in this lifetime, maybe you have some slight connections to organized crime, or maybe you experience certain terrible things in your family that also deplete your life source, like incest or molestation as a child, or different things like that. And if it wasn't in your family, you might have experienced that throughout your life from different abusers. And yes, I'm using all the words. YouTube can be mad as they want. I'm setting the intention that this reading reaches those that it's meant to reach, and that there is no algorithm that is more powerful than my spirit and my being, and that this will reach those that it's meant to, despite the censorship. So anyway, I see that there was remnants and fragments of this cycle that you kept trying to break out of. And because it was on a lower level, so you didn't like incarnate into human trafficking, or even if you did, you've escaped it at this point. And so it's like these last fragments were getting you through like terrible bosses, horrible family members, terrible relationships, like abusers that can come in the regular parts of your human life, whether that's a teacher, a coach, like I said, a boss, a friend, a family member, relationships. Like, you could have been feeling like, why do I keep attracting like the worst people into my life? Why is every friend actually a fraud and a foe? The triple F, just kidding. Or why every guy that I date ends up being like really possessive and weird and abusive? Like, it's because those fragments of the reptilians, the demons, whatever you want to call these negative entities, the Nephilim, there are many different kinds, but they all come from the same frequency of evil. They have found different kinds of people that they can manipulate, right? So NPC-like people that can be manipulated into abusing you. And I'm not taking away from the fact that like these humans need to take responsibility for this behavior, because it is their fault. The humans did do this. But as I always say, it's like the idea of having the angel and the devil on your shoulder. And it's like the angel, your like higher self, is trying to tell you, okay, go in this direction. This will be better for you. Or you can succumb to the devil and listen to those demonic, reptilian, Nephilim, whatever, evil entities that are encouraging you to make a bad choice. So it almost feels like you just kept ending up in the clutches of people who always choose the devil on their shoulder instead of following their higher path, their higher self, and the angel on their shoulder. And I'm here to tell you that you finally broke it. This eclipse season did not break you. The last several eclipse seasons I heard were an attempt to break you, and it didn't break you, it broke the cycle. And now you're sitting here in your Empress energy. You could be working with Kali, or you could have a close relationship with Kali, or she could be calling to you. You could have been seeing a lot of signs for her. So She sends signs of bees. That's a sign of Kali. You could just be seeing her imagery or getting recommendations through, let's say YouTube is recommending you these, music to listen to her, or meditations or whatever. And so Kali, and if not Kali, divine feminine frequency of the Empress, of a similar warrior-like energy, has come through within you. It's been awakened in you to release you from your astral prison, to finally let you flourish. So you were not able to thrive. You were suffering and just doing your best to survive. And as you can see with this card, she is like, her roots are so stable. I just heard Rise by Katy Perry. My roots, they run deep. And look at how much she's branching out. You are finally able to properly root down, and you are finally able to properly branch out. Now, with this, the Wheel of Fortune and Kali, you can see he's in the fire. His feet are to the fire. You can see she has overcome the karmic fire beneath her, and she is now sitting atop that karmic fire like a throne. So not only did you break this cycle, but you are now alchemizing this cycle to lift you up and put you onto your highest timeline, and you are seated upon it like a throne. And you will never, ever, ever be brought back into this. So if nothing else, you will not reincarnate into whatever abuse cycle you were born into and have been consistently born into lifetime after lifetime. You have finally broken the curse. The curse is broken. I just heard ding dong, the witch is dead. Witch, old witch, the wicked witch. That's Wizard of Oz. And yeah, and like where you're going, as I said, where you're going, the interference can't reach you, because look at, everything's really like dark and brown and yucky in this one. And then you rise above it into this like kaleidoscope of beautiful Empress colors. And then from there, you're just in this frequency of heart space with the green. And I have on my pink pants too. You're in this frequency of heart space with the green. You're somewhere that's lavish and flourishing and can actually grow and expand. She also has deer antlers on, so deer could be a synchronicity for you as well. There are also several butterflies. I feel like these butterflies represent your spirit guides that are supporting you through all of this, because they're the same colors of Kali in this Empress card. We then have the Seven of Wands and the Fool. So with this mummy, I feel like you've broken the binding, like I said, from which you have been stuck. But also this is reminding me as well of like bandaging your wounds. So I feel like your wounds have been bandaged. And the reason that the Egyptians mummify people is so that their soul can have a chance of making it through the 7 layers of the underworld, and to be able to have their heart weighed against a feather by Ma'at and Anubis, or Anpu in the Kemetic language, and then after their heart has been weighed, if it is lighter than a feather, it can ascend up into the Milky Way with Newt, and you can basically go back to source. So it feels like you're having this resurrection right now, you're being healed right now, and you're being severely protected. And if you recently did spell work, or you've been thinking about doing protection spell work for yourself, it is working. It is protecting you. And there are 4 candles, which is reminding me of the 4 of Wands. So you're being protected right now to get to your happy ending on the other side of this. I'm also noticing this obelisk. And so it's like you are very much a bright light in the world right now that is like shooting into the ether. And in the past, when you've awakened this bright light in you and shot it into the ether, it has attracted the evil. But as I said, you've contained the karmic fires, the baptism by fire I just heard, and now you're rolling over. As I said, you have alchemized this karmic torture, really. You've alchemized this karmic torture. You've used it to place yourself on a throne above it, and now you can control it. Now you can control it. So it's like you've gained the pearls of wisdom I just heard from the suffering of which you've been trying to free yourself from for many, many lifetimes. Now we also have the Fool here, and the Fool is in a liminal space here with the stairs. So I did go on the Tower of Terror when I went to Disney recently, and my little cousin, as you're going on it, it like takes you through a liminal space, which is very similar to the space that I took people with Clement, my little haunted doll, and Doobie, to do the Quantum Leap clean sweep. Like, we go into this liminal space so that we can literally choose a higher timeline in Quantum Leap. And as we were going through the liminal space, my little cousin was like, I don't like this. I'm really scared. This is really scary. And I just knew that her soul was like recognizing, like, wait, like, this is real. This isn't just like a ride that has like a kitschy little liminal space in it. Like, no, liminal spaces are real. And even though she's only 11 years old, I knew that she was scared because her soul remembered something deeper than what was on the surface. And so I was just trying to like hold her hand through it all and support her. And at the end, she said it was one of her favorite rides, but it didn't change the fact that she was scared. And so I feel like this life and what you're going through in this life, it might be really scary and disturbing and upsetting right now, but I feel like it's going to be one of your favorite lifetimes, one of your favorite rides by the end. Now, that same protective cat, I know it looks different, but we have another cat here. So you could have a cat that is your protector. You could have more than one cat that are your protectors and your familiars. But I do feel like now that you made it off of the wheel into your Empress energy, you're going to be able to start to flourish. Your boundaries are set. You're beginning to heal. Your bright light is shining in the world without these evil entities being able to feed off of it. And now you're in this liminal space where you are quantum leaping to your new beginning here with the Fool. And he's a jester, right? And so the Nephilim do look like jesters, but a lot of the positive entities that we see as well, like the Hindu gods and goddesses, they do have those psychedelic colors and frequencies that are similar to the jesters. And a lot of, I mean, there's not a lot of information out on this, but I do like the Nephilim look like clowns, even though he's like a staunch Christian and can be very, I guess, like hard and bossy about only choosing Jesus. And so if you listen to him too much, it'll make you feel bad about yourself. I mean, at least it makes me feel bad about myself because he's just so against any religion other than Christianity. But so you have to take it all with a grain of salt. It's kind of like when you go to church and they're like spewing off all this like really mean stuff about how you're like you're terrible and you'll never be like Jesus and we hate you, and but then you're supposed to like find the pearls of wisdom within it. If you do it too much, eventually it'll break you down and you'll start to think you're a piece of shit even when you're not. So because that is, at the end of the day, this is nothing against like Christianity or Catholicism or anything like that, but there's just so much putting down of the human who's trying to participate in the religion that after a while that shit really gets to me, because it just talks so much about how humans are terrible and you are terrible and you're awful because you're not Jesus, basically. And so yeah, it's something that I have to take with a grain of salt. But anyway, we have the jester here. The other thing I want to say about like the entities like the Hindu gods and goddesses and stuff, when they have the million arms and everything like that, like it's hard. How can you tell me that that's not like an angel? Like it looks, these things look like a biblically accurate angel just in a different form. So it's kind of confusing to me that like, oh, you get to have angels and what you have biblically accurate angels, like, oh, be not afraid, human, and like that's allowed and that's okay and that's cool. But like when it's any other religion, it's a demon and fuck that, even though they look very similar. Like, you can't tell me when you see the Hindu gods and goddesses in their like opened form with like fucking like 20 arms and psychedelic and all these different frequencies coming off of it, like that just looks to me the same as a biblically accurate angel. Obviously a little different because no wings, but and the eyes and everything like that. But I think you get what I mean. I'll put a post with what I'm talking about because I've collected some photos and stuff to kind of back this up. But anyway, so in saving yourself off this wheel, you have found yourself in this liminal space, but you're the one holding the cards now. You're the one with the apple and the money for abundance. Again, with the candles, if you've been thinking about doing a protection spell or you did a protection spell, this is your sign that it worked, and it is working. Now, if you did the quantum leap clean sweep, this could be your sign as well, to look around you and realize that you are literally in a different dimension. This could also be telling me that I need to do another one. I think I'll probably do another one in November or December. But anyway, so, and then we have the Queen of Swords here. And it's like you were able to fully detach yourself from this. So I feel like one of the things that was really holding you back was your attachment here. And so because you were able to fully detach yourself from, and not just your attachment as in like you're stuck in this karmic cycle, but the attachment of these evil entities pulling on your emotions. So it's like, let's say you had a terrible abusive boyfriend, but you know, you loved them because you have a big heart and this and that. It's like that, they do say that attachment is the root of all suffering. And so I feel like you broke your humanly attachment to release your suffering. A sign and synchronicity for you, signs and synchronicities, which this will be great during Halloween, is skulls, because you'll probably be seeing skulls everywhere. Signs and synchronicities as well will be when you see those beautiful moments where the sun just peeks through the clouds and it looks like the angels are going, oh. We also have snakes here, arrows or bow and arrows, feathers, boots, and dynamite, you know, like from like cartoons when you see like the dynamite sticks, and then also hawks or eagles, as well as swords. These are all going to be synchronicities for you, little signs from spirit. Also buffalo could be your totem animal right now. But especially here with the skulls being a synchronicity, butterflies as well, or anything Egyptian really, or if you see clowns or liminal spaces, this is going to be your synchronicities from spirit, your signs confirming this reading for you. So the advice is to just stay really detached and continue to focus on what's best for you and to remain detached from anything that doesn't support your highest and greatest good. And that's not being selfish, that's self-preservation, so that you can not have to survive anymore but come into a place of thriving. So that's all I have. So I'm going to be finishing this in the members extended. If you want to go deeper on this, like I said, the link to become a member will be in the pinned comment. And as a member, if you want to know what day your payment goes through, please just email me and I'll let you know what day your payment is going to go through. And on that day, you will then have access to the playlist for October members. So I'm going to take this over to the extended. Thank you for watching. Please comment your thoughts on this. This was a really deep one, so let me know your thoughts. And please share if you think someone else can, really benefit from this. Please make sure that you're still subscribed, because we all know YouTube loves to unsubscribe people from me. And so just make sure your notifications on, you're still subscribed, and I love you guys. Take really good care. And members, I will see you in a moment. Bye bye. And I will see you another time. Okay, bye.